Hello, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is YAHMAD. We're going to be looking at paper 3 from the CIE ICT IGCSE course. We're looking at the May-June 2017 paper, and we're going to be redoing a website section using Microsoft Expression Web 4. Any graphic related task we're going to be using paint.net. So paper 3 also includes data analysis, which is a spreadsheet part, and it's a 2-hour and 30-minute long practical paper. So this is going to be version 31, May-June 2017. So let's skip down to the first part of the paper. Now, since I previously have done this question paper using Adobe Dreamweaver, I've got part of the evidence documents already completed. So we'll redo some of the print screens again. Okay, so let's go down to task 2, web page. So you're basically going to be helping some trainees develop web pages to teach students about website authoring. So the first thing we need to do is create a new folder called HTML_1731. So if I go into my source folder, let's make a new folder here. So right click, select folder, enter the name of the new folder. And then what we need to do is basically locate the following files and place them into the folder. So we've got the PNG graphic file and then the 2 CSS files. So we've got this one. I'm pressing Control to select multiple files at the same time, and then we can simply move them into the new folder. Okay, so that's that done. Right, so question 1, open a file 1731san1.png in a suitable application. So we're going to be opening up this picture. Since it's a graphic file, we're going to be using paint.net. So let me open up paint.net first of all. And what we're going to be doing is resizing the image, so it's at 704 pixels by 528 pixels. So once you've opened up paint.net, to open up a file, we can go to File, Open. Let me go to the right folder. So Web Expression 2017 Summer 31, and the file that we want to open up is this file here. Okay, as you can see, the current dimensions are at the bottom, so it's 2816 by 2112, so that's quite big. So what we need to do is basically resize the image, so it's going to be 704 pixels wide. So if I go to Image, Resize, and it's going to be 704 pixels wide, and then the height is going to be 528. So if we maintain the aspect ratio, the height will automatically change by itself. Let's press OK. So we can see the new dimensions here at the bottom. So 704 by 528. Save this image with the file name 1731san2, and still we're going to be saving it into a PNG format. So let me just copy that file name, file, save as, make sure we save it into the same folder. Let's keep the PNG format and let's press save. Okay, right, so that's that done. Okay, so let's now look at question 2. Remove the right of the image to make it 230 pixels wide and 528 pixels high, like this. So the height of this picture we're not going to change. We basically want to remove the right hand side of the picture. So what we'll do is we're going to make a selection which is going to be 230 pixels wide. Once we've made a selection, then we're going to crop to that selection. So to make the selection, let's select the selection tool. We're going to refer down here because the dimensions of the picture will be here of what we select. So I'm going to keep going across until I see 230 in the bottom corner. Height will be 528. So I'm almost there. Okay. I know it's 229 I selected, but let me just go to image and crop to selection. Okay, so as you can see now we have the size down here. So is 230 by 528. So I selected one number less, so I cropped it to 529, and it's gone up to I cropped it to 229, and it's gone up to 230 by 528. So once you've got that selection and you've cropped it, then what we need to do is save the image with the file name 1731san3. So we're just simply going to change the 2 to a 3, and we're still going to save it into a PNG format. So let me go back to here, file, save as, let me type in number 3, save, and when you are saving you can change the level of bits used in the picture. So if we use less bits here, so if I just use auto select, the file auto detect, the file's size is 262 kilobytes. If I reduce the amount of kilobytes used, you can see the file size, or the amount of bits used, sorry, the file size will reduce. So let's just leave it at auto detect for now. Okay, so it's going to leave the size at 262 kilobytes. Let's press OK. Okay, job done. Let's move forward. So now question 3, display the contents of your HTML folder, which is this folder here, showing the folder name, image dimensions, and all file names, extensions, and file sizes. So we got the image name, we got the file type and extension, we got the actual file size in kilobytes. What we're missing is dimensions. So if I right click on size, go to more, and then if I go down, it's in alphabetical order. If I find dimensions, and let's tick this option here, you can see the last one has been cropped to 230 pixels wide, 528 pixels tall. Okay, so what we need to do is basically take a screenshot of your HTML folder and place this into your evidence document. Make sure the folder name, image dimensions, all file names, extensions, and file sizes are clearly visible. Okay, so let's go to the folder. Let's take my print screen. Okay, and let's paste this into the evidence document. So if I just use my shortcut keys, or you can right click on your mouse, let's paste. And then what we need to do is crop off the part which is not necessary. So it's really important we include the top part, which shows the folder structure, and we include the folder name here at the end. We got the file dimensions, you got the size of the files, you got the type, extensions, and then a file name. Okay, so let's remove this space here. Right, so question 4, evaluate in your own words other changes that you could make to this image to make it more suitable for use in the web page. So ideally, if I go back to the evidence document, the smaller the file size, the quicker the picture will load. So what we could do is, if you're saving a picture, if I just press save, at the moment the file size is 262 kilobytes. If I select 32 bits, the file size will go to 292. If we go to 24 bits, the file size will go to 262. 8 bits, the file size will go to 51 kilobytes. So if you reduce the bits, then this would make the file size smaller, so therefore maybe more suitable for use on a web page. So if I go to the evidence document, I've already completed this before, so we can change the color depth of the image, okay, from the current settings, and we can reduce it to 8 bits per channel. This would allow the image to be stored in a GIF or JPEG format. The effect of this would be to reduce the storage space required for the image, and hence its transmission time when downloaded on the internet. So if the picture is smaller, then it's obviously going to load quicker and download quicker as well. If it was saved in a JPEG format, the file size could be further reduced by reducing the image quality as you save the file. So if I go back to here, and if I save it as a JPEG, so if I select JPEG, then you can see his file size already is 29 kilobytes. If you reduce the quality slightly, the file size will automatically go down. Okay, so that's that done. Let's now move on to question 5. We're going to now create a web page, and it's going to be called 1731 links, okay, and the file extension is HTML. So let's open up Microsoft Expression Web 4. And we're going to save this page into our new folder that we created. So we're going to save it into this folder here. So this web page must work in all browsers and will have a table structure with visible borders and grid lines as shown below. So once your Expression software opens up, let's close down this one here. Let's go to New, select HTML, go to Design View, and then click on File, Save As. And what we want to do is go to Expression 2017 Summer 31. Save the page into this folder with the file name given, so 1731 links. So since we've opened up a HTML, it's going to save it into that format, so you don't need to change the type. Let's click on Save. Okay, so text shown in bold must be entered onto your web page, so text like this. The text in italic are instructions as you must do, so things like this. So set this to H1 and replace the text in the chevrons with answers, images and candidate details as instructed. So before we do anything, let's make our table. I'm just seeing if we have any table sizes. Yeah, so okay, we don't actually have any sizes for the table yet, so we just need to know how many rows and columns which we're going to have for the table. So we've got 1 row, 2, 3, 4 rows and 3 columns. So to create a table, you click on Table, Insert Table. We're not going to specify the size of the table for now. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4 rows and 3 columns. Let's type in 4, and for columns let's type in 3. I think later on, looking at the CSS, so if we look at a few questions ahead, the table size will be defined in the CSS, so that's fine. Okay, so we don't need to set the table size now, so make sure you haven't selected these options here. Press OK. Okay, what I'm going to do, actually, let me press Ctrl Z. Let's do it again. So table, insert table, 4 rows, 3 columns. You might as well actually put a size in. So if we go down, the table will be 650 pixels wide. So in pixels, let's type in 650. Okay. Yeah, that looks a bit better. So let's go back. The first row is merged. So we highlight all of the cells. Right click your mouse, click on modify and merge the cells. All these cells here are merged, as you can see in the example. So let's right click, go to modify and merge cells, and then the bottom row, these 2 cells here are going to be merged as well. So right click, modify, merge cells. And what we need to do is basically enter the text shown in bold into the web page. So let's enter that text first. So you're going to have to copy and write this in. I can copy and paste, so you'll have to type this in since you guys won't have the electronic exam paper during the exam. So in this cell here, let's copy this, and then let's copy this. And website created by. Okay. So in the chevrons, we have to basically replace with answers, images, or candidate details. So let me just insert my name. Center number, I'll use 5678. Candidate number, I'll use 1234. So website created by, let me write my name. Then I'll include my center number and then my candidate number. Okay. Let's. What I'll do, I'll leave a formatting to the end. In this cell here, we need to basically insert the image saved in step 2. Okay, so step 2 was this step here. So this is the one we cropped. Okay, so if I click on the first cell, insert picture from file, and then if we go backwards, summer 31, and it's going to be sand free. So let's include alternative text. So this is basically when, if the picture doesn't load up, this text will be displayed instead. So let me just delete this. I want to copy the file name, you see. Okay, so if the picture doesn't load up, this text will be shown instead. That's okay. There we go. So far so good. Okay, so now what we're going to do is, I've done this part here, well, I've done some of this part. Let's format the text and then we'll answer the questions. So using hyperlinks is going to be set as H1. So if I highlight the text, go to this option here, select H1. The function of a hyperlink is going to be H3, and the next one will be H3. So, oops, let me just select this. H3. This is also H3. And then this one was also H3. So let me double check. Yeah, H3, H3, H3. Okay, so we're getting closer now. Right, so the function of a hyperlink, enter your answer to this question here, and then we're going to set it as H2. So the function of a hyperlink is to navigate from one place, so it could be from the bottom of the page to the top of the page, or to another page. Okay, so to navigate from one place or page to another. So let me copy and paste this in. Okay. Oops, what's happened there? Let me try doing that again. What I'm going to have to do is just type in this text. Okay, so to save myself a bit of time, I've opened up the mark scheme now, and I'm going to copy and paste the answer for the hyperlink question. So what is a hyperlink? It's basically to navigate from one place or page to another. So let me copy and paste this in. So I'm trying to save myself a bit of time when making these videos. So that's the answer to that question. The second question, obviously, which we have to answer was, when used with a website, absolute and relative file paths can be explained as. Okay, so we need to again put the answers here. Okay, and we need to set it as a bulleted list with square bullet points. Okay, so I think the square bullet points will come from the CSS. Yeah, so we'll set that in CSS later. Okay, so if I go back to the PowerPoint, and then we'll copy in the answer. So relative paths points to the current folder. So let's say, for example, if I go to my website software, let's say I want to make this into a hyperlink. Okay, so if we click on hyperlink, the relative path will basically look into a particular folder. Okay, so it will look into actually the same folder that you're currently working in. Whereas the difference with the absolute file path is it points to a location on a storage device. So let's say, for example, you want to link to a file which is going to be, let's say, for example, you know, in a different folder, you know, it's going to look in that particular folder for the path. So it's got the actual full address of where the file is going to be. So if I go back to my presentation, so with relative paths, links uploaded to a server will retain the structure and will therefore work. Absolute file paths points to a specific location on the storage device. Absolute links uploaded to a server unlikely to work unless the same file and folder structure has been uploaded to the website. So let's say you've got multiple pages, 3 web pages. If you upload the same structure onto your host FTP client, then absolute file paths will work as well. So let me copy in the first part. Okay, relative path points to the current folder. Okay, so that's the first one. Enter. So relative links uploaded to the server will work. Yeah, let's go back here, because we're not going to be looking to find a location. We're going to expect the file to be in the same folder. And the difference with the absolute is there is a specific location where the file will be saved. Okay, so let me copy this now. And then the last one. So links uploaded to the server unlikely to work unless the same structure. So let's copy this. And we need to make this into bullet points. So we can click up here and we can select unordered list. Okay, or we could have gone here as well and selected unordered list as well. So let me just make these into separate bullet points. Okay, so relative paths point to the current folder. So if I press backspace and then enter, okay, again backspace and enter. There we go. So we've got our bullet points, so that's that part done. So the answers will need to be set as H2. Okay, so if I go back to here, let's select, oops, the text, select H2, and for this answer we've done it already. We've set it as bulleted list. Later on when we set the CSS, this will change into square bullet points, and this should have been set as H3. If we go down, yeah, so far we're looking good. We've got our table, we've got our titles in, we've got the questions in, they've been formatted as H3. We've got the answer to the hyperlink question, which has been formatted as H2, and then we've got our bullet points in explaining relative file paths and absolute file paths. So basically, if it's relative, we're going to be looking in the same folder for our pages or pictures. If it's absolute, we'll have a specific location. And when you are uploading, you need to make sure you upload with the same structure, the same folder structure. So let's now move forward. So replace the text, enter your answers to question 6 here. So I've just actually done that with a description in your own words of the function of a hyperlink, and we've set this already as H2. Okay, we've already applied these styles, so let me just highlight that I've done this. Okay, right, and the picture was inserted as well. Question 7 was replace the text and enter your answers to question 7 here with a bulleted list in your own words of 3 or more items explaining the terms relative file path and absolute file path. We've done that now. Okay, so we can highlight that. Attach the style sheet tab 1731 CSS to your web page. So if we go to here, you need to make sure you've got the Manage Styles window open. If you can't see it, it might be on the side. If not, go to Panels, click on Manage Styles, go to Attach, Browse. We want this tab one, I think. Let me double check. Yep, so tab 1731. Press OK. So we've got some formatting now to this page. So you can see the table's moved into the center. We've got some borders showing. Okay, so far so good. Let's see what else is next. Okay, so a trainee has started to create a second style sheet to be added to the web page. The style sheet is not finished and contains a number of errors. So what we need to do is open up the style sheet st1731.css in a suitable software package. So again, we're going to use expression. So let's go to File, Open, go to our source folder, and this file is the one we need to open up. As you can see, all sorts of mistakes here. So we don't have the brackets. So since we don't have the brackets, nothing is shown here. So the web page and style sheet must work in any browser and use the most efficient method. All color codes are in hexadecimal. Make sure your style sheet contains no HTML. The specifications for the style sheet are. So before I do anything, I'm going to basically Do you know what? Let's just delete the whole thing, and we're going to do it again from scratch because all of it's not working. So, right, let's look at table. Okay, and remember we need to use the most efficient methods. So, the border. Let's focus on the border first of all. Okay, both the external and the internal border will have the same color. Okay, it's going to be a dark shade of green. Okay, so let me just highlight this. Okay, and both borders, the external border and also the internal border, will both be solid. Okay, the only thing different about the borders will be what the external border will be 5 pixels and then the internal border will be 2 pixels. So what we can do is let's create a new style. Table, comma, TD. We're going to basically format the borders first. So both sets of borders are solid. Okay, and we're going to use a dark green. So if I select green, and then for dark shade, I'm going to put in 60. So that's gone to a darker shade. Let's click on apply. Done. Okay, and then what we can do, we can include a separate properties for table and a separate properties for TD. So the first thing was the border was 5 pixels, which will go in table, which is for the outside border, and in TD will include 2 pixels. So let me click on new style. Let's create a table one first. So the external border is going to be 5 pixels. Okay, so we've done that now. Let me highlight this. The table will be 650 pixels wide. So if we go to position, we can put the size of the table in, so 650. Okay, all internal and external borders will be collapsed. So if we go to table, we can do the border collapse here, and cell padding 6 pixels at the top and bottom. So if we go to box, so top and bottom is 6. So make sure you deselect this option here to write different values for top, bottom, right and left. So top and bottom is 6 and 4 pixels at each side. If we click apply, that's that done. Yep, I'm happy with that. Now let's create a separate TD tag, because what we have is the internal border is going to be 2 pixels thick. Okay, so if I type in 2, then click apply, that's that done. So what was similar for both table and TD was the border styles. So the internal and external borders were both solid and were both a dark green. Then we've got the separate properties for table in table, and then the separate properties for TD in TD. Okay, so the obvious difference was the external border, which goes in table, was 5 pixels, and the internal border, which goes in TD, was 2 pixels thick. Okay, so that's that part done, and that's probably the hardest part to understand, doing the table and TDs. Right, okay, so H1. Okay, let me just double check here. Again, we want to use the most efficient styles. So I'm looking for things which are similar. So can you see H2, H3, and LI have the same size. Okay, so 16 pixels high. H1 will be 36 pixels high. So what we could do this next. So H2, H3 and LI is going to be 16 pixels high. So let's click on new style. So I think it's H2, H3, Li. H2, 3, list style is referred to as Li. And we could put 16 pixels in. So make sure it's px, which refers to pixels. Sometimes they may ask for points, but we want to keep it as pixels. Okay, so we've done that. Okay, so there's no point repeating this now for all of H2, H3 and Li. Right, let's create H1. Okay, so new style, H1. The color is going to be red, no red, green is 50, and then no blue. So if I just select black for now, green is in the middle, so it's RGB, and the green component was 50. So again, that should give us like a dark shade of green. Okay, so we've done that. Okay, the font style, the first font will be this Planetino one. So if I copy this, you can have a look for that font style, but I don't think it will be here. So if that's the case, then simply type it in, comma. So if that's not available, then Times New Roman. Have I not copied the whole thing in? So Times New Roman, comma. If that's not available, then Times, comma. And if this font is not available in the browser, then the browser's default serif font. Okay, so we can include serif at the end, and the size of the font will be 36 pixels high. Okay, let's click on apply. Job done. If you want to make move this above H2, H3, Li, you can do. If it doesn't really make a difference, but if you want to, you can do that. Okay, now since H2 is left aligned, H3 is center aligned, and Li has got square bullet points, we can make separate tags now to have the separate values. So H2 is going to be left aligned. So if we go to block, text align left, let's click apply. So we've done that. H3 will be center aligned. So new style, H3, go to block, text align, center. And then the last one is Li, and it's going to have square bullet points. So if you go to list, we can select the square bullet points. So again, anything that's the same, so H2, H3 and Li share the same font size. What you could have done is basically repeated this line here, here and here, but then you're not using the most efficient syntax. So let me save the changes. Actually, do I save the changes? Let me just double check. So correct and complete the style sheet using the information above. Yep. We've done the square bullet points. Add your name, center number and candidate number as a comment at the start of the style sheet. So if I go to start and if I press enter, get a few lines. To add a comment, you write in /star. You notice the whole code has gone into green. It will be green until we close the star and slash. So that's my name, center number, I'll use 5, 6, 7, 8, candidate number, I'll use 1, 2, 3, 4. Close the comment by typing star and slash. Okay, save this style sheet into your HTML folder. Use the file name st1731 followed by your candidate number. So I'll include 1, 2, 3, 4 at the end. So when I'm saving this into the same folder, I save as 1, 2, 3, 4. Since you've opened up a CSS, it's going to save it into that format. Okay, so we saved it. Then we're going to attach your style sheet to the web page that you created. So that it's a higher priority than the style sheet attached in step 8. So if I go back to here, I'm not deleting this one, we're just basically going to attach it. No, that's not it. Attach style sheet, browse, and it's going to be the one that ends with your candidate number. And the last style sheet you attach always takes priority. So yep, that's fine, I'm happy with that. And you can see the bullets have now changed into the squares. Okay, so yep, it's looking good. I'm pleased with that so far. So evidence 3, take a screenshot showing the content of your style sheet, place this into your evidence document. So this is a screenshot which we need to take. Okay. and make sure you crop off any parts which are not necessary. And then resize it so it's nice and clear for the examiners to see where the marks are going to be coming from. So let me just backspace here. I just want to see if I can fit it onto this page. If I just make this a bit smaller perhaps. No, do you know what? It's not worth it. I want to make sure that's nice and clear. So let's move this down onto the next page, the evidence free. And as you can see, my style sheet is nice and clear. So it's going to be easy for the examiner to mark and give me the marks hopefully. Evidence 4, display the page in your browser, take a screenshot and place this into your evidence document. So to go to the browser, save the changes and then go to preview browser, go to Chrome. Okay, so it's going to load up in a minute. There we go, I'm not sure why it's taking so long. Okay, whilst we're waiting for that to load up, the next one will be, evidence 5 will be to take a copy of the HTML source and then place that into your evidence document. So here we go. What we can do, we can zoom out slightly so we can get the whole, actually, I don't think there's any need to zoom out, or we can do slightly. So you can see the external border which we did in table is obviously much thicker than the internal border. Both are solid and both are dark green, but the only difference being is the outside border is 5 pixels and this one internal was 2 pixels. Okay, and the border has been collapsed. So let me take a print screen of this. And it's really important you keep this browser window here. You don't want to crop it off. You want to show that you are in the browser view. And then the next and the final print screen was a copy of the HTML source. Okay, so what we do, go to expression, go to code, highlight all of the code, and then you basically copy and you paste in. Okay, so as you can see, we've got the HTML, and a lot of your marks will come from the HTML. We've got a print screen of the web page in the browser, making sure we show the browser window. We've got a print screen of the CSS. We've got an evaluation about how to reduce file size, making it, or picture size, to making it more suitable for a web page. And then we've got a print screen of the 3 different pictures that we saved, including the dimensions. So we've come to the end of this website section using Paint.net and Microsoft Expression Web. Okay, so please show your support to the channel. Please subscribe below. Please leave your comments and please like and share this video as well. Thank you again for your time. Hopefully these videos will be useful to your revision. Thanks again for your time.